Hello, buddy. It's starting to get hot here in Spain. I might need to change my shirt at some point. Any suggestions? Okay, so let's get down to it. Today, let's talk about something a bit more speculative. Not really. Yes, actually. Well, it's not really more speculative because a lot of the stuff I do is speculation anyway, by the looks of it. So, aliens. There we go. Half the audience have thought, what's going on? What am I watching? Well, I quite like science fiction. I was interested in astronomy as a kid, and I like science fiction. But somebody asked a question about aliens. They asked, would aliens also come to the conclusion of this non-dual enlightenment, this non-dual understanding of reality? And I think they would, if it, as I see it's the truth. I think there's no reason why other alien species in other galaxies, even with different biological makeups or not biological, or things like things that are completely alien to us, I think they would still the ultimate reality for them would still be this non-dual sense. They may not have even had to evolve this sense of separation that we did on this earth, to be able to look after the body and hunt animals, and so maybe they are actually more, it comes more naturally to other alien civilizations. But that's not really my point. My point was that I wanted to comment on the Fermi Paradox. So I don't know if you've heard of the Fermi Paradox. It's based on the idea that we've never been visited by aliens. So if you think we've been visited by aliens, then I'm going to be talking as if we have never been visited by aliens. I'm not saying that we have never been visited by aliens, but the Fermi Paradox is based on the fact that there's apparently no aliens here. I know they could be hidden and all of this. I'm open to that idea, but for the sake of explaining this, the Fermi Paradox says there are no aliens, clearly. I mean, we've got some crashed spaceships, but they've flown how many billions of light years to get here, and then they just accidentally crash into the Earth? What useless aliens. Anyway, so the idea is that the universe is so vast, infinite, and it's so ancient that there will have developed many civilizations capable of space travel. They actually have built an equation for the Fermi Paradox. They have this equation which says how many Earth-like planets are there in the universe, and and they say that there should be lots and lots of aliens right now here, and we don't see any. And assuming that they're not hiding or doing anything like that, why? What happened? And so the idea is that there's a filter. They haven't reached us because they died. The civilizations went extinct because of a filter that wipes out all civilizations in the universe at some point. Now, the question is, have we, as humans, already passed that filter? It could have been something that there was a certain stage of evolution, or the very biological level, that something needed to happen that was just so improbable that it's only happened here, and basically that's what stops all life in the universe from getting beyond that stage, or maybe some form of developing intelligence or something like that didn't happen. So we've passed the filter, so we're okay, but we're the only intelligent ones here. The other possibility is that the filter is in front of us, that there's this big thing that wipes out all civilizations that is waiting for us, basically. And who knows, it could be nuclear, it could be AI, it could be some other terrible thing. It could be a pandemic. Oh dear, turn this video into a horror story. But no, the reason why they haven't reached us is not because of this. This is my theory I'm going to give you now. I thought it up, but somebody else must have thought it up too. The reason we don't have lots of aliens around is because they all got enlightened. There's some point at which civilizations become enlightened. There's a kind of critical mass of enlightened beings on these planets, wherever they are, or space stations. And eventually they just all get it. It becomes mainstream. At the moment here on Earth, we're all materialists. But they're moving, but they can't get over the hard problem of consciousness. How is consciousness produced? How this subjective experience come from some brain activity? Nothing of this is made out of neurons. This is all made out of, where is this anyway? It's not really, it's in my brain somewhere apparently, but it looks a bit bigger than my brain. The whole universe is anyway, that I can see. And then they say, oh, well, no, we will work it out eventually, but you just have to have faith. This is promissory materialism, that's what it's called. So when they say, we haven't worked it out yet, but we will, you just have to trust us. We worked out with life, and so therefore we'll work it out with consciousness. But life is in the objective world. Of course, you can find out things about the objective world, but how does the objective world produce this thing here, the subject? It's like, how does somebody in your dream, create, through fantastic technology, or maybe AI that gets very intelligent in your dream, a person outside the dream, sleeping, making the dream? How does that happen? So that's the hard problem of consciousness that we can't get past. Now, so we're going to move towards Panpsychism, which is that every piece of matter has a bit of consciousness. It's all conscious in some way. It has a conscious element. There's some problems with that. And then we've got idealism. So people are already moving towards panpsychism. The neuroscientists and scientists are moving towards panpsychism, and then some of them are moving into idealism, especially with the analytic idealism that seems to be presented so well by Bernardo Kastrup. So I think we are going to end up, the human race is going to end up with science based on idealism, with science eventually based on the idea that that mind is the fundamental reality instead of matter. And then we'll make progress. And then from that, it's a short step to realizing that Atman is Brahman, that your consciousness is the consciousness of everything. So I think it could be quite easy for these intergalactic races to realize that they are Brahman. And then what would they do then? Maybe they'll come to us and help us, but they would realize that space is not outside them, space is in them. Time is not outside them. They are not in time, but time is inside them. Now, when Nisargadatta Maharaj got enlightenment, he was going to go to the Himalayas to sit in a cave. This is a story I've heard. I'm not sure if it's true. And so he caught the train. I'm even less sure about that bit. Had a cup of coffee and blah, 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 blah. No, that bit was really just made up. So, and on the journey, he did think, why am I going to the Himalayas? I am Brahman everywhere I am. I am everything. So he just returned to the slum where he lived, and he had a public toilet in front and his cigarette shop, and he just carried on just teaching from his house, from a room upstairs. And I think that's what would happen with the aliens, with the understanding that would that space, that they are the fundamental reality, that consciousness, being, is the fundamental reality, and that's what we are, and that's what they are. I think with this understanding, they would do as Nisargadatta did, and probably just relax into it. This would say that instead of the Fermy Paradox saying that there's a great filter that wipes everyone out, it might be saying that the reason we can't see any aliens here, well, not evidently, is because everybody does eventually get enlightened. And eventually the whole human race will become enlightened. Although a part of me doesn't think so, but maybe we won't get there. Maybe we will. But certainly the advanced civilizations do eventually, the more advanced they get. And I do think that the more even AI. I think AI will help us move towards enlightenment as well, in its own way. So, thank you very much for watching. Please put comments if you believe in aliens and they're here. Don't worry, don't attack me for not believing in aliens. I'm happy to believe in aliens and they're here. But this is the Fermi Paradox, so I'll do another video about aliens another time, about idealism and Bernardo Kastrup, how he speculates on aliens. Thank you very much for watching. Goodbye.